longer issue vouchers to migrants to pay for food, ending a controversial program that had repeatedly come under attack by conservatives and others.
This pilot program in New York City, drenched in both humanity and controversy, distributed debit cards to migrant families staying in city-funded hotels and allowing them to buy their own food. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einier following the breaking news for us. Josh?
Well, Bill, it's a program that, as you say, generated plenty of controversy, but now its absence may raise even more questions. The so-called Immediate Response Cards pilot program was designed to help feed migrant families who'd found themselves in New York with no way to afford food. The one-year contract provided what the city described as culturally relevant food to 2,600 migrant families, allowing them to basically buy what they wanted. A family of four with two kids under 5 got about $350 per week to cover food in a program the city said would actually save taxpayers millions a year. It also reduced food waste. You may remember the food the city had been providing in migrant shelters was seen as not culturally sensitive to the needs of some migrant groups, and it ended up just going to waste. For more than a year, the city was groaning under the weight of more than 200,000 asylum seekers. Officials say the migrant population has actually reduced lately. In fact, a massive shelter on Roosevelt Island is in the process of closing. In the meantime, Mayor Adams spoke on the phone yesterday with President-elect Donald Trump, who had vowed during his campaign to mass deport migrants. Aside from congratulating him on his win, though, Adams today would not say what they discussed.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. It is just amazing, isn't it? It's amazing because what we have here is just everybody folding on the tables of Trump as he just got president-elect. I mean, the man isn't fully inaugurated. The man isn't even fully a president yet, and people are already folded under the boot that is Trump, and you gotta love to see it. And this is a sign of the difference in stature and the strength between somebody that is weak and somebody that is strong. When you have countries that are fearful or want to do talks and wanting to end the war, it's a full sign that's saying, yeah, maybe Trump is the one that was actually going to protect us and prevent us from having war. Maybe Trump is the one that's going to prevent us from being in this nasty era. And it's great to see. We're going to go over that, but a few other things first. What we have to go over from right now is that New York is really going downhill, right? But Mayor Adams has now, as you can see, that ending the food vouchers because for asylum seekers and illegal immigrants, because or just migrants in general, because he doesn't like them either. It is an issue for him. And we have this here from also, Therefore I Am, says a New York City ending voucher program that allowed migrant families to buy their own food. New York City launched the pilot program earlier this year. It allowed migrant families to buy food at any store. The City Hall spokesperson said the contract for the pilot program will not be renewed when it ends in January 2025. And that is a good thing, because when it ends in January 2025, that also means that when Trump is pretty much the official elect and inaugurated into the White House, that's a huge sign that things are going to change in New York. I don't know how much it's going to change, but things will change. And Mayor Adams has something to say about this, about the whole situation and how they can't afford it here in New York because it's just too much money. And it is a sight to behold.
Not just around the country, but right here as in the city as well. Moments ago, Mayor Adams spoke out on the results of the election, and Morgan McKay joining us now live from City Hall. Morgan, what was his reaction, and was it surprising to you?
Bianca, Mayor Eric Adams started first by congratulating President-elect Donald Trump and incoming Vice President J.D. Vance. He says he hasn't spoken to Trump yet, but does plan to call him soon. He says that he respects the process and Americans made their voices heard last night. But he also answered questions about what this incoming administration means for migrants and vaccines. So first on migrants, the city's Immigrant Affairs Commissioner Manuel Castro says that talking about mass deportations only cause panic. City officials say that they are focused on protecting immigrant communities, but when it comes to migrants that are currently in our city shelters, Adams does not say whether he would like to see migrants move to other states in a decompression strategy like he was pushing for under the Biden administration, or if he'd be looking to the federal government to cut cities like New York a check to help care for some of these migrants. But again, city officials not commenting on any questions about deportations, telling people to not create panic over something that might not happen. Adams did emphasize that he would like to see changes to the city's sanctuary city policies by allowing ICE to cooperate with law enforcement when it comes to migrants who have committed crimes. Here is Adams with more.
We need a decompression strategy at the border to make sure that we take control of this crisis and not have this crisis take control of us. There's great opportunities if we give people the right to work, and I remain calling for that.
Now, the NYPD says they are prepared to protect people's rights to peacefully protest, but there will be no tolerance for any violence or crime. Reporting live.
Yeah, so that's what we have here. It's really a dramatic shift. It's almost as if Joe Biden gets out of office, people start just correcting themselves, and things start healing as a country. And that's just something that people need to start understanding, right? This is the reality of the whole situation. I mean, Mayor Adams is still a leftist. I still believe that he's a leftist, and I still think that he is a negative from New York, but he is actually trying to deal with the illegal migrant problem, which would make the whole mass deportation of illegal migrants easier. If people haven't seen it, there are elections that are happening, or people talking to Trump, where he is literally laying the slam down on some of these reporters, because they just can't deal with him, man. Like, they just gotta keep on hammering on him, and Trump is snapping back. I'll probably do a video later today on that. So, yeah, that is what's going on here in the Trump brigade, the Trump era, and what we think that is going to happen here in this later day, right? So, we have that. And what I also want to show you guys as well, because there's something else that you guys need to all see in this area, right? So, what we have here is a simple explanation of what Donald Trump and his plans for the deep state is going to be, right? What he's going to do. And the plan is simple. It says, from Colin Ruggs, this is Donald Trump's plan to dismantle the deep state. Immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, totally reform feature courts which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they're lied into warrant applications. Expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart. Launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. Make every Inspector General's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee so they do not become the protectors of the deep state. Ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people, or that they are not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign. Number 8. Continue to the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside the Washington swamp. Work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. And 10, probably one of the biggest ones, push a constitutional amendment to oppose term limits on members of Congress. So essentially, what he's going to do is that he is going to put term limits onto Congress to where they're not going to stay in our justice system for eternity on end. So that's going to be huge. There's a lot of great things that's happening with Trump, and I'm going to have to do a lot of things that are going on here in the world. Like, the world is already reacting to Trump becoming president. Things are changing in a massive way. Trump is not messing around this time. He's serious, and things are going to get on the ground. And what's going to be strong here is that with the presidency of Donald Trump, we're going to be getting a lot of better things. And already, as we're seeing Eric Adams just simply denounce all the illegal migrants that are in his state and pushing them out. And I think when Trump does do the massive mass deportation, I think Merrick Adams would be more than willing to remove these people from his state because they are causing massive problems, massive crime, among other things in his state. Now, that doesn't mean everything's going to be all hunky-dory because they have to do other things that, you know, would actually solve crime in their state. But credit where credit's due, Merrick Adams is going to be doing some great things here for the 4th. So, we'll see how this all goes. So far, guys, we're getting W's. Got to keep on that trend. Got to keep on that great winning. It's almost too good for that we're winning so much, but it is great to have America back alive again. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted because it's algorithmic disease, the social media.